Hello and welcome back to the Watchworks. Right off the bat here, I had a bit of a cold over the weekend and I'm still kind of recovering from that, so if I sound a bit different or a bit stuffy, that's why, so apologies for that. Anyways, what I have here is this, Westclox plastic alarm thingy. A very late model, just no frills alarm clock. This is probably from like the 80s or 90s. This definitely is not any Baby or Big Ben. Obviously it's not a Big Ben. This does have the same movement as the single key style 7, style 8, and style 9. As you can see the knob arrangement there. There we go. Except it's missing the center one. This uses the, oh, that's the alarm. The pull out to set time feature like the single key style 7 did. And this, the story about it is I had a mirror holder next to my nightstand because I was clearing out my closet to put it in there. And it fell over and whacked this thing off my nightstand, and I mean it whacked it off hard. I don't know if you can see this, but that is not normal function. So that's all loose. You can hear stuff rattling around in there. Probably gonna be a bit of carnage, but I'm gonna try to fix it up. Because I did use this. I mean, if it breaks, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just a plastic alarm clock thing. I'll probably clean up the case too. It needs a bit of a cleaning. Very simple, no frills. Just press down the top of the crystal there and that comes off. It's all cracked there. This was like it before it got knocked off the nightstand. These hands just pull off. There's no little collar on these, I guess you would call it. It's just in this case, copper has just been pushed through. I don't think I've really seen copper hands before. Let me test with a magnet. Okay, it's copper plated steel. That's nice, it gives a bit of corrosion resistance. And I will disclose I have done some upgrades to this, I guess you could say, over time, as I've repaired other various alarms and parted out other cheap late model ones. Here's the dial and all that. Okay, so your balance wheel is just kind of floating around in there. This is not the original movement. This movement came out of a late model Big Ben, and I can already see the issue here. This came undone. These are just kind of punched together. This movement came out of a late model Big Ben style 8 that has the Baby Ben movement. And I think I did replace the great wheel too, yeah, with a brass one. I'll get this apart. And I'll see if I can stick my finger in there to undo the winding key. Yeah, this is just kind of a random video here that I do. Okay, the key's coming undone. Okay, this key is made of aluminum. And no, I'm not wearing finger cots because this movement is made of aluminum, and aluminum is a very resilient, when it comes to corrosion, very resilient to corrosion. So I have no worries. But yes, regarding this movement, it is not original, but it is the same exact type, just slightly older. Same knob configuration and everything. I didn't remove a knob. This didn't originally have a time setting knob individually. And have to be mindful of that balance wheel. And yeah, this is the bell here, if you couldn't tell. Just a very crudely stamped piece of steel. There's the bell off. Oh, almost. There we go. Yeah, very crude. It's a bit rusty. This is just bare steel. Okay, so there we go. Here's your carnage. The balance wheel hanging out. I'm not super worried about that. I have extra hairsprings, and these late ones were pretty resilient to bending and all that, so not a big deal. It's your arm hammer. So that's why this thing was not holding a wind, because that right there usually meshes with that. And this is your click, basically, in there. It's a one-way clutch. So I will get that back into place. And no, this is not a super exciting video, and I apologize for that. If that's back in place now, it's gonna actually wind up. Okay, there we go. And yeah, once again, I have plenty of extras for this. This is not a valuable movement. Very late model. I would not do this to an antique pocket watch or an old clock. This is 30 years old at the oldest. I think it's overbanked. Okay, there we go. Cram that all back together. This one's interesting because it still has the steel pillars. The later ones usually had pot metal pillars. So what I've changed in this movement, actually I think there was only one thing I changed with this one. The original movement I upgraded a couple times. It had just pot metal gears that had the pot metal pivots. It was just one cast piece, the gear with its pivots. And that meant the pivot holes in the movement plate were much larger in diameter. This movement here is not the worst, definitely not the best, but not the worst variant of this movement when it comes to how new it is. Steel pillar plates, all metal gears, as in still the traditional type with the Babbitt metal. Here's your balance wheel. Even the balance wheel, nickel-plated brass, which is impressive, but it has the plastic roller. I did replace this great wheel also, because these originally came with a pretty wafer-thin steel great wheel that over time would cut into that center wheel pinion. You can see it's slightly chewed up looking. I'm just looking at it off screen. Yeah, slightly chewed up, but the wear is actually on a different area compared to this great wheel, so this is riding on an untouched surface, so that's all good. I'll probably cut the camera, get this all totally back together. I might oil it a bit, and I'll clean the case, and I'll be back. Okay. So I got the movement back together. It's running. These are pretty hardy, even the cheap ones, if you don't put your fingers on the wheels. Yeah, I left at the end of that last clip. It just unceremoniously fell over. That kind of sums up the demise of Westclox and themselves. They just kind of flopped. Anyways, also got the case cleaned up. So I think it's about time we reassemble this sucker. Not a difficult repair at all. In fact, dare I say, a boring repair. Let's see here. Now, I'm trying to remember how this bell went on. I could have looked back at my footage. It goes like this, doesn't it? Yep. Okay. Make a fool of myself here. Why don't I? Put the screws in. Loud noise warning, I'm going to test the bell. That's that back together. Now this just slots into the case, like so. And get it into there. Very, I guess you could call it economical. No fancy isolation grommets like there are in the baby bends and big bends. I'm trying to find the other screw. Here it is. Oh, no. Not looking at what I'm doing. There we go. Try to thread this key on here. There we go. I should have filmed this beforehand, but let's see here. Yeah, it's not going to be super visible. If you look in there, right where those tweezers are pointing, you can see a pinion. Oh, and actually you can see the wheel right there. So that interacts with the alarm hammer. It's the alarm escape wheel and also the one-way clutch for winding. So it also drives the time train. Very interesting way of doing it. But it works. They use this design from the single key style 7 baby bend all the way up until their demise. Literally, it was the last style of mechanical movement they made. That back into place. Style is made of, seem to be silk screened plastic. Very thin. There's that. I will say it has not yellowed, so it can't be too terrible. I think this case has always been kind of a creamy, whitish beige. Yeah, in fact, the inside of the case was the same color, so yeah. Now align the arm hand. We'll get the hour hand on here to start, because I want to make sure this is all lined up correctly. In fact, I wonder if I can zoom out here just a tad, so it's not all up in your face. Yeah, this is not a great video. I don't know if I'll actually even release it. I'll see if I do. So no, I haven't uploaded anything in a while. Okay, loud noise warning again. How y'all prepare. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Wind that up. I'll go around the dial again. Set the alarm. Give it a wind. Very stiff clutch in this one, so it's kind of hard to turn the knob. Okay, loud noise warning again. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay. I'll get the minute hand on now. And what I'll do, I'm gonna line that hour hand up a bit more. There we go. Get that on there a bit more. What I'll do is set the alarm to 3, and that gives me a good idea of how well everything's adjusted. So loud noise warning again. And it's a bit off, so I'll move that hand back. Gonna go back to 12. The arm hand and the minute hand. Okay. And yeah, it's a lot of trial and error. Do that again. I have to make sure that the dial is actually correct too. I'm gonna raise my camera up a bit here because I know this is a bit too much. There we go. In fact, I am going to tighten up that hand a bit. So I do is usually just kind of tighten it up with my tweezers here. Like that. And I'll see if it pops back on. Much tighter fit now. So that's good. Yeah, the friction clutch in this is extremely stiff, so. Okay, those hands look lined up, pretty well lined up. I get it back to 12, I get the arm hand back to 12. I'll listen for the click. Okay. There we go. Let's see here. Sometimes I'm pretty particular about alignment. Oops. So yeah, this becomes a long drawn out part, and I'm sure this is where I'm gonna lose a lot of viewers. There we go. Perfect. So, finish this video off here by popping this crystal back on, and we'll call it done. Turn this around. There we go. And that's it. That is all done. So now I'm going to be able to use this alarm again. This one's relatively loud, so it does get me up. So thanks for watching if you stuck around this long. Props to you if you did. I know I say this a lot, but sometimes my videos kind of drag along. But yeah, that's about it for this one. So thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one.